G'day, prospectors. Tony from Gold Talk, Leonora again, in the office where the magic happens. So, a number of people have asked for a bit more information regarding doing your research. I've always maintained that that's what summer is all about. That's the time to do your research and contacting companies, etc., etc. And what I thought I'd do is I'd show you how we go about it, playing a game called the What If game. And the basis of it is pretty simple. You need a starting point. We need to have a starting point of, hopefully, and even though it's an assumption, but we need to have a starting point of a known place or source of gold. Look, geological maps are fine. They haven't changed much since they've been out, and to be perfectly honest, we were using geo maps to chase fault lines and contact zones and all the rest of it 20 years ago. Same maps, same country, things haven't changed. I still look at geo maps. I still love geology for what it's worth, trying to nut out what's going on in the earth. But I find that there are easier ways to put yourself onto gold. So that's what I want to show you. The thing is that Tengraph being the definitive database of all the mining tenements in Western Australia, and exactly what you can see on the screen right now. Tengraph is the best research tool that you can use. One of the biggest mistakes people make prospecting over the last 5 years or so is being over-reliant on the telephone app Trilobite, Australian Geology Travel Maps. And as good as it is, it has some limitations, and that's sort of what I really want to show you today. The thing is that there's information we can get out of Tengraph that we can't get on Trilobite, and I don't think that we ever will. So the idea is that what we're really chasing is a starting point, and then playing what I call the what if game. What if a bit of gold's gone this way? What if a bit of gold's gone that way? Even though this is going to take a while for me to show you, my intention is to do a few of these over the next few weeks in different areas around the state. And I'm the intention is that with repetition, it can become second nature, and I can, I do these in very low minutes these days. It does not take long to find good areas to go prospecting. 2 points I'd make is that you still have to get off your backside and get boots on the ground. You still have to, work the country. And sitting in front of a computer screen is not going to find us the gold, but it will give us the places to start. The main thing to remember is that, as negative as it sounds, but with a lot of truth in it, is that basically none of us have enough time left on planet Earth to prospect all of this country. It's just a physical impossibility. So we have to make choices, and that is what the research gives us. It gives us choices. It gives us areas shrunk down to likely target areas. And then we still have to get off our backsides, go out and see if the gold's there. One other thing I want to say before we begin is that I dread sort of doing this tutorial because the last thing I want to do is to inadvertently stumble onto someone's patch that they've been working for the last 5 years, and suddenly half of Western Australia is out there next year. That's not my intent at all. But the only way I can show you how Lisa and I find these places to go prospecting is by actually doing it. So my apologies in advance. As always, I'm choosing sort of larger exploration licenses. I never choose exploration licenses that are held in a private individual's name. I will only target company ground. That's the only way I'll work. I'm sort of to the point where I won't even go on pending ground if it's in a private individual's name. It's perfectly legal, but not the way I'm going to do it. This particular ground, E392380, is held by 14 Mile Well. They're a branch of Iceni Gold, and as far as I'm aware, they've been sort of fairly positive when approached by prospectors. So this is somewhere that you can go. But the idea is not to give you a spot to go this winter. The idea is to give you the expertise to find spots of your own. That's the intent here. So we can see on the screen, and we'll get underway. We can see on the screen here we've got exploration licenses here, mining leases. Here we've got a major road system, the Leonora-Laverton Road. We can zoom in a little bit. You can see we've got a couple of private leases up the top here. I don't really have much of a history in this country at all. I've been through it several times for various reasons, and I know that there was some locals got onto about 200 ounces up here somewhere. I guess about 5 years ago, something like that. So it's got a reasonable pedigree. Further to the south, it does not, but up here it's not too bad at all. So the most powerful tool on Tengraph in my research is dead tenements. So just as we have a record of the current tenement situation in Western Australia on the screen, as you can see it now, the Tengraph database is just that. It's a record of just about everything that's happened in the past as well. And to access that, we click on dead tenements, and if by some strange magic up on the screen comes all these dots and squiggles and all sorts of things. The dead tenements we can recognise fairly quickly because they are in black for death. We can see the outline of the tenement here. We can see MC for mineral claim, District 39, and whatever the heck that number is down below. There's nothing much over this side that's sort of immediately getting my attention, but of course around here it is. So if I zoom on a little bit more, and then the numbers just keep on running away from me. The great thing here is, so we've got a couple of private leases here and a mining lease here, so we'll keep right away from those. Those are of no interest to us really, but the ones that are of interest are these ones here, P395959-S. So -S means it is or was a special prospecting license. Special prospecting licenses are a temporary tenement that can be placed over the top of an existing live tenement. And most importantly, they are only allowed to be held in a private individual's name, and they're for gold only. The reason why you take an SPL out, a special prospecting license, is because there's a bloody great big patch of gold on it and you want to push it and see what's underneath it. That's why you take out an SPL. Interestingly, there's an old mining lease up there that would warrant a little bit further investigation as well. But for now, I'm going to just stay focused. We've got an old SPL here, here, here. There's another one here. There's another 1, 2, 3 up here. I mean, this is a banging area. This is really, really good. I can look into the details of who held them, when, etc., and if I was really researching this area, that's exactly what I'd be doing. But for now, that's more than enough to tell me that this area has my interest. Like I said, what we need is, in research, we need a starting point. This is our starting point. We have to make assumptions. Assumptions in prospecting and in life are always very dangerous. But when I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SPLs in the same area, and by the looks of things on the same sort of creek line, water feature through here, then it's a pretty safe bet that at some point there was gold there. The way I'm going to find out is to bring in aerial imagery, the photo mosaic overlay. Now, I can bring that in on Tengraph down the bottom, but I never use Landgate aerial imagery when I'm playing the What If game, and I'll show you why that is. I use Google Earth, and it's a fairly easy process to take one of these tenements and to transfer that to a Google Earth overlay. I'm right-clicking with my stump and find data on the map. Dead tenements. Scroll down until my tenement that I'm interested in is highlighted, and there we go. So I can open in Google Earth. It's a direct link. How easy is this? Open in Google Earth. I'll press on that, and that's where I start to want to smack it with a hammer. Lisa goes, no, you can't do that. Open file. Google Earth is a free program. You need to have it installed on your laptop or tablet or whatever else you're going to use. For goodness sake, do not ask me any technical questions about anything to do with computers. And is this compatible with, what's it, Apple? I don't know. How would I know? Okay, what we have here on the screen is a black outline of the tenement in question. And just to make it a little bit easier for everyone to see, I shall right-click on Dead Tenements, go to Properties, Style and Colour, go yellow, why not? Okay, and I'll increase the strength of it, and I'll go OK, and there's our starting point. So let's just zoom out a little bit. And if you remember, we had a triangular shaped one here, another one up here, up here. So guess what? Someone was pegging out this creek. The thing to remember is that we, as alluvial prospectors, we are always looking and chasing low-lying areas. So we're always looking at creeks, drainage channels, gutters, the bottom of the slope of the hill, you name it, that's what we're interested in. Don't forget that the gold may have formed 2.6 to 2.9 billion years ago, but it may have only raised its ugly head a billion years ago, and it's only been so maybe the last half a billion years it's been subject to some severe erosion. I mean, you don't really know what's gone on. Gold is where you find it, and that's the point, is you have to get out and have a bloody look. It's great to say that, oh, you know, whether it's geomaps or something else, you know, and we can use research tools to find X marks a spot. Well, you actually can't. What we need to do is have a good starting point and then go out and explore, because basically that's what we are as prospectors. We are explorers. We get out and we have a bloody look. The downside of that is if we want to have a look, sometimes we don't get it right and we don't find anything. Looks like a nice road or track going into the general area there, just for future reference, off the Leonora-Laverton Road. So you can see that the creek is obviously the main sort of source, a point of interest. Let's play the what if game. The most important thing I'm going to want to know is which direction the ground is running. This is why I use Google Earth. If we have a look down in the bottom right hand side, you'll see a little doohickey there saying ELEV and then 1,498 feet. Elevation is height above sea level, and in this case, wherever my little cursory hand thingy is, that point right there is 1,486 feet above sea level. What the figure is of no relevance. The relevant point is the incremental changes in that figure. So, for example, if I put my figure in the put my whatchamacallit in the creek, try and stay up with the technical jargon, it's 1,489 feet above sea level. If I move the cursor in this direction, guess what? We're going upslope. Alright? So that's uphill. Let's go this way. Bang. Couple of lumps and bumps, but the country is draining away through to the east. Okay, it's as simple as that. That north is always the top of your map, north, south, east, west. So that's also really interesting. We without getting any flat tyres, without getting our hands dirty, we can see what the rough lay of the land is. Let's just go from here up to here. So 1490, yep, upslope. Let's go this way. Yep, upslope, fantastic. Let's go out this way. 1490. Okay, so that's downslope that way. Oh no, then it goes up again. So there's a low-lying area there, and then maybe a breakaway or little ridge line, probably all through here. 1482, yeah, and then up. So this is a really well-defined creek, which is great because that makes our target area really well-defined. So I'm liking this. What I'm going to do is, and look, I wouldn't be doing this myself, but for the purpose of the exercise, we'll chuck a few pins in just so we can remember what the approximate figures were. So if I move that down to there, 1491. Okay, 1491. Okay. And that one there was 1493. And that one here is 1481. Okay, just so we can remind ourselves which way this country is running. On Google Earth, we can put on a contour layer, but I find that, again, we're working the micro, not the macro. Remember, and it's one of the problems with geological maps, the best map you're going to get in the Yilgarn Craton is 1 to 100,000. So what's that? 1 centimetre equals 1 kilometre. It's not good enough. We're talking about the creek, the gutter, the stream, the other side of the hill, that little funny jump up over there. Everything we do is not on the macro, it's on the micro. It's on the near. So as I said, we could either put this contour layer in, which sort of kind of works, but I find, look, this is just how I do it. So that's what I'm showing you. The other thing is we could also put the elevation in meters, but that's not that sort of misses the point, because in a relatively flat landscape, you know, that's a foot, that's a metre, there's 3 of those to 1 of those, more or less. So you're going to pick up a lot more subtle changes by being in feet. Let's see where we're going. Now, what I can do is, if I say, oh look, I really like the look of that area, I can draw a little path around that thingy, like so, and I can call it target area 1, if you like. Right, just so that we can see where we're looking at. That's of interest. The thing is, if you think you're going to be the first people going out there to have a look, you're not. And that's always the battle, is that there's a lot of competition for gold, and it's great coming up with these sorts of ideas and these sort of strategies. Often you're far too late. So what can we do to put ourselves a little bit ahead of the game? That's play the what if game and see what's happening further down the creek, because when I look at this, and I'm hoping that you can pick this up as well, this creek goes all the way down here, and then it gets really interesting out here, because it's coming through here, oh, I better zoom out a little bit so we can see it. Really interesting and really well defined. 1432, 1481. So it's still going all in exactly the right direction. And this is really interesting down here. Look how well defined it is. Let's just go up on either side. So the middle of the creaky area is 1441 to, oh, she's bloody flat. Let's go the other way. Oh, and she's downslope a bit there, but that is looking really, really well defined. And it's coming from this direction. So the other thing I can do is I could put a, oopsies, I can put a little Duvalaki around the whole creek system. Yep, and I'll call that TA2. And I would be more than happy to go out there having a swing and seeing what's going on. Where we've got a whole heap of trees that are sort of collected in this sort of one spot here, that always piques my interest. Don't worry too much. You'll get the books and keyboard experts talking about low pressure points and insides of bends and all the rest of it. That's rubbish out here. When water flows, it flows. So let's just have a look. 1468. Down slope, down slope, down slope. 63. Nice. Let's keep going. 3, 4, 5. So we've got a nice low spot there. Okay. Let's just go this way. 1468. Yep, down the creek. 1467. Low, low, low. Then it'll go up the creek. Yep. Let's go this way. 1466. 5, 4, 3, 4, 5. Going all over the place. But there's a really nice low spot about here. Let's just check it out. 1458. 64. Reasonably flat there, but I've definitely got a 67, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 in the middle of those trees. 3, 2. Yeah, look, it's not as defined as I would like. And again, this is the first time I've looked at this area, so this is live, as it were. But, you know, I still like the look of it for some reason, so I'm just going to circle that and call that target area 3. I think that's I don't know, it just looks right to me. It's got a bit of potential, because remember, if the water's going there, then there's always potential that the gold can go there. Access is really easy. There's old grid line. There's an old grid line going through there with the old drill holes, those white dots. So it's, and straight off the Leonora Laverton Road. So it's a piece of cake. I'd be more than happy to go there. This is obviously the main area, and there was some activity up here as well that I'd be reinvestigating. But that's how we do it. I'm using a SPL, or a small privately held lease, to give me a starting point. I'm making the assumption that there's alluvial gold, and why else would you take out a special prospecting license? And I'm saying, right, well, let's keep going. Let's see what's going on in this direction downstream. Back in the hot spot, I might zoom in a little bit more and just let's have another look here, because there's obviously a creek going down this way, and I think we said it was upslope. 1489. Alright, so that's definitely rising there. And I can't see any old scrapes or anything like that. There's plenty of activity. And there's old tracks in through here, but that could be anything. Let's come out this way again. 1491. She's going up here. That's going to be it. That's all I'm going to do in that little area, and that's going to give me 2 or 3 days work here, going along one side of the creek, and then coming back along the other side of the creek, sort of zigzagging 100, 200 metres each side of the creek, seeing what I can pick up. I generally tend not to go into the creeks, because the one thing water does is consolidate and collect junk. And I would easily spend 3 or 4 days quite happily here, and what I'd be doing is I'd just be bunny hopping about every 200 metres, spending an hour, 200 metres, spending an hour, 200 metres, spending an hour on this side of the creek, then back on that side of the creek, see what we can turn up. The thing is that is exploration. That's good exploration work, and that's what this game is all about. You've got to be prepared to go without, but when you hit it, hopefully you hit something fairly reasonable. What I would say, and this is what sort of Lisa and I have always done over our careers in terms of how we find gold. The thing I'd say is that, everyone has different levels of health and fitness. Everyone has different levels of, I can't be buggered anymore. So I was going to use different words, but I thought I'd better not. So the thing is, the best I can do is in this little tutorial show you how I do it, and then you adapt things to suit yourself. That's the key to it. But the absolute imperative here is to go into prospecting with a plan. We have to accept that we can't prospect everywhere. We don't have enough time left on planet Earth to do that, so we have to make choices. How the hell do we make choices? A choice can be as simple as going on a tag-along tour, something like that. That's fine. Get someone else to have hopefully done the work for you. But that's not really prospecting. Prospecting is about finding these areas, going out and working them yourself. So, prospectors, if that's been a little bit of help for you, leave some comments. Let me know if you'd like me to do a few more of these. I was going to do one next week over in Meekatharra. I'll just pick a few around the state, just show you the thought process that I go through to find these spots. As I said, there's no substitute for getting off your backside and getting out on the ground, but this is what summer times are all about, is doing a little bit of research and approaching the companies. Beauty. Prospectors, we'll leave you to it, and good luck out there. See ya.